show. Once again, my name is Mrs. Augustina Anyanwu, and help me welcome my friend, Mrs.
Ezemma. Welcome back to our show, our Sweet Home Africa. Alright, it's such a great day again, and we have a great topic again. Alright, so we're in the series on how to rebuild Africa, and our topic today will be moving beyond our heart. That's letting go of our past. Is that true?
That's right.
Alright, so, and the forgiveness and everything, because if we don't move beyond our hearts, it will hinder our progress.
That's right.
So my friend and I will give a little insight on things that have brought the heart that we have in Africa and wherever Africans live, and then things that we can do to move beyond that. Alright, so my dear friend, it's such a great topic again.
Yes.
So I know you will have great advice, as you always do. Alright, so how do we Africans, when I say Africans, I mean Africans in Africa, Africans in Caribbeans, African in
Jamaica, Haiti.
I mean, they're considered Caribbean. I mean, they're all Caribbeans, exactly. And then Africans that live all over the world. And how do we move beyond the heart? Because I know many of us, I mean, almost all of us went through, had times, very, very difficult time. We talked about slavery, and it's such, an atrocity that cannot even be repeated in terms of, talking about it. So these things have left many of us drained in terms of emotionally. So though we have, a lot of us have been freed physically, but emotionally they're still living through the trauma, and it has really, suppressed their progress. So let's, give a little insight how we can move beyond it. Thank you. Go ahead, my friend. Address the audience.
Yes, letting go, as we can call it, or forgive, because we got to forgive within. So once we forgive ourselves for holding grudges about the past, then we can be able to know how to move on beyond whatever happened to our forefathers, or what our forefathers, or some of the atrocities they committed by sending their children to an unknown person. I think it was done out of ignorance. They didn't know, the gravity of what they did, and the repercussion most of us are paying now for that. But all said and done, we cannot dwell on the past forever. We have to move on. Even some of us that are Christians, or whatever religious affliction you are in, forgiveness is the key. And that's the only way you can move on. That's the only way you can think. That's the only way you can reason properly and go from point A to point B. So as that happened, it already passed. So we know some of us still have cousins and uncles and aunts somewhere. And some of us, like my friend mentioned, the blacks don't even know exactly what part of Africa they come from. And it's a little bit disturbing when maybe your relatives are somewhere and you cannot touch them. You maybe pass them on the way and you don't know who they are. But the question now is, what are we going to do? We are not going to continue to dwell in it, and every day we whine, every day we complain, oh, what they did to us, what they didn't do to us. We got to move beyond it by forgiving. Forgiveness is the key. So we have to know that once we forgive, that we will be able to start looking at things differently, instead of staying there organizing a pity party every time, because that will not take us anywhere. That will make us be redundant. We are not moving forward. We got to move forward. We got to wake up so we can possess all our possessions, because the world is so vast, and we are blessed with good and every natural or mineral resources that we can lay our hand on, as to be like those people you think they take everything from you. Nobody can take what belongs to you unless you let them. If you sit down and don't do nothing and complain and whine and recount what your great-grandfathers told you, what happened to your forefathers, whatever generation, you're going to be there. And unfortunately, somebody will, because that's the gift of God. If He give it to you and you cannot produce, you cannot bring it out, somebody else will, God will bless somebody else so that they can bring that thing out. So we need to get up, we need to wake up, we need to know that past tense, we have to remember about it. I'm not disputing that. We must remember what happened, but we're not going to let what happened in the past overwhelm our future. We will continue moving on, we will continue to look at things differently. And then those people you think that took something from you, it's left for you to go back and get what belongs to you. It is left for you. No other person will do it but you. So now Africans, we are not going to sit down and think another place is better than our own, because God bless us mightily with mineral resources, with good weather. God bless us with that. Nobody will dispute it. There are so many things God bless us with. So all we need to do with good food. So God bless us to the extent that if we focus on what we have, if we focus on how to, do it the right way and share the wealth, believe me, nobody will leave African countries to look at somewhere else. So my friend, I think we need all hands need to be on deck, exactly, so that we can be able to look forward beyond what the mistakes our forefathers made. So I don't know what else you have.
Thank you so much. You always give great advice. All right, so what I'm going to add to what my friend said is this, and that's something that she pointed out that is very important. She said, it's not that we're going to forget the past. And, when you look at it, history is always there. And it's always good to have those, because when you, as it will bring us to another topic, because in terms of education and the importance of reading, because our people do not read that much, but we'll discuss that another time.
Yeah.
So when you
sign our life away,
exactly,
because
so
the things are too much, we don't want to read, we sign our work away.
Exactly. So if you take your time to read and go back to history, you can see that a lot of people, like different races, different nations,
cultures,
so far. I would take the one that is that happened recently. We heard about the Holocaust. The Jews, they were really, many of them were killed in Germany. But what they did was they moved beyond their hearts and they kept on moving in life, and they were able to recover and rebuild themselves. So that's our point with Africans. We're not denying that we were suppressed and oppressed, but at the same time we can equally move beyond our oppression and suppression and then do better. But before we do that, we must understand that it's always good to leave history for your children and let them read it, because when the children know what happened in the past, it will help them to make their future brighter. So what the Jews did were, they wrote their history. Where I live, actually, they have Center for Holocaust Study. So if we can tell our own story, because it's better to tell your own story. When you tell it exactly as it is. But when you allow other people to tell your story, they will tell your story based on their own perception. And they put, they modify it. So they can put something in and they can take out something that is very important out. So Africans, we should come out, tell our story to our children. We can even have like places, museum and everything. I know they have it, but what happens is that most of these museums, we allow other people to establish those things for us. But if we do them by ourselves, it will tell our story to our children, and then they can move beyond this hurt. So it's important, like my friend said, keep the history there, but do not dwell on that history. Don't stay on the on the hurting side always, because it will hinder you from progressing. So move beyond it, tell it as a story, tell your children, and say this is what we went through and this is where we are now. So that we will focus on the present and not dwell on the past. So that's our point. And I know we are all from Africa. My friend and I were from Nigeria, West Africa, and we didn't grow up in this part of the world. We came here as adults. But we understand what our brothers and sisters went through here. They were oppressed and suppressed, and sometimes when you're oppressed and suppressed for such a long time, you give up your own will to live.
That's right.
And then many of them do not have role models. So that's why when we come over here and see them, it looks like they're not struggling very well. I know you're all doing your best, and we love you. You are our brothers and sisters. And when we go to the biblical aspect of it, I look at it more like the story of Joseph. Joseph was sold sold. Exactly. And he was sold. Egyptians took him, and then after a while, his brothers and sisters came over to Egypt because there was famine in their land. So when you look at it,
and he was able to rescue them.
Exactly.
And they made it back to their land, the promised land.
That's true. So when you look at it, we're almost like, we saw our brothers and sisters that, they came over here. Exactly.
And now come and meet them.
And now we're having so much problem in Africa. So when you look at it, now we're coming over here to even ask for food here for us to survive. So, but I think it's time for us to let go of the hatred and forgive ourselves. We do apologize for what we did.
To forgive their forefathers.
Exactly. Because these are new generation. Our great-great-grandfathers did these things, but we cannot dwell on it and start hating each other and start fighting each other. Let us go.
Let it go. Forgive.
I said, let us go.
You mentioned something about the Jewish people.
Okay.
The Jewish people rebuilt their place, but remember, they did not forget the poor among them.
Okay.
They always help the poor. They always provide soup kitchen. They give alms. So the rich people back home among us, within us, please look around at your neighbors so that your own breakthrough will continue. You will expand. Your wealth, then they call it the well, it will not run dry. So make sure you look out and start helping those around you too, because we got to forgive. When you're forgiving, you got to show mercy. You just have to make sure that you're looking out for one another. Because Africa, we have to rebuild. Africans, we have to move forward. We are blessed, and we have to look around and see our blessings all around us. Please, please, please.
Yes.
This is a great continent, and then we have to make sure that our children are not coming out here again to beg for food. All right, so
thank you so much. To cap it, actually, there's something that I will just bring up, because most of the time when you meet Africans that reside outside Africa, many of them want to come back to Africa to visit.
I want to go back and live.
Exactly. But what we have understood is because of the crisis and things that are happening in Africa, many of them are afraid to go. So that's why, going back to our leaders, our brothers and sisters in diaspora, they want to come home. Even the black Americans, they want to visit Africa. They want to know where Africa is. So if you make the nation comfortable and safe for our brothers and sisters that are living all over the world, they will come home to visit. They will also come home to help rebuild Africa. So we're waiting for the government to put things in order. They will.
But do you know that some of them are through this DNA thing? They're finding out exactly where they come from, either from Sierra Leone or from Nigeria. They're trying to find out, this is how hard they're fighting. That's how hard some of them are struggling, trying to find out exactly what part of Africa their forefathers, great-grandparents come from. So we need to live in peace. We need to rebuild our place so that they can be able to break whatever. You see Joseph.
Yes.
Where was Joseph in the Bible? Where was Moses in the Bible raised?
In Egypt.
Okay.
Exactly.
What about Joseph we're talking about?
In Egypt.
Okay, but after whatever, when they acquire the knowledge they need, what happened? They went back.
Exactly.
So we got to make sure we create room for everybody, because they are coming back to Africa because that's their origin of birth.
Exactly. And they want to come to help to rebuild.
Oh yeah.
Because actually,
exactly.
Thank you, Oprah, for everything that you're doing in Africa. We love you, we love you, we love you.
And a lot of them too.
Yes,
because I hear them, some of them building chairs and send school chairs, uniforms.
Yes.
Like the guy on NBC. So they do so much for African countries.
Yes. So thank you so much, our viewers. I know this is such a long episode. And we love Africans wherever you live. We love the ones in America. We love the ones in Caribbean.
All over the world.
All over. So it's always a pleasure to address issues in Africa at our Sweet Home Africa show.
United we will thrive, but divided we will fall. So let's get together and build our land. we will thrive, but divided we